If you ever look in a dictionary, short words always have more definitions than long words. Short words are more usable, and love is a short word with a great many definitions. So many, in fact, that when we talk about it here, we may not be clear about what we are talking about. And so today I'm going to give you 7 real quick things, what love is and what love is not. And the very first one is this: love, when we are talking about love, we are not talking about an emotion. We're not talking about that warm, fuzzy feeling that you get sometimes. We are talking about a power. Love is not an emotion, it is a power. It is a power that brings about transformations in people's lives. Love is dynamite. Love is fire. It is a catalyst. It may appear to be something that is gentle because it doesn't cause destruction, because it isn't violent, but love is far from weak. It is the only power that has the strength to overcome the other power in our world, which is fear. Love is not an emotion, it's not a feeling, it is a power. It is something we do, it is something we talk about, but we don't go all soft and squishy, because love has power to transform. Love is not a philosophy. How many philosophy students are we got today? Anybody here besides me? Okay. And it wasn't that fun. It's so much fun to talk about it and to think about it and debate questions like what is real, what is time, what is the meaning of life, all of those questions that come up in philosophy. But love is not a philosophy. Love is not something you got to figure out like that. Love is Christ. There is no need for us to debate the nature of love, because love is Christ. It is Jesus Christ, and that is what we understand as love. How do we know what love is? We look at Christ. We look at Jesus, and we see that love is a process of laying down your life for others. Love is a desire to heal and the power to heal. Love cares for all people equally like Jesus did, yet works especially hard for the weak, the poor, the outcast, especially the outcast. Love is made up of huge dollops of forgiveness, and forgiveness over and over again until it reconciles, because love is not a concept. Love is not a philosophy. Love is Christ. Love is not an occurrence. It isn't something that happens to you. Despite what the soap operas say. By the way, I happen to catch a few minutes of a soap opera. I'd like to know from the women here, how many women at any point in your life have dated a man with an eye patch? Every time you turn on a soap opera, there's some guy with an eye patch. What is that all about? I don't know. Soap operas teach a terrible thing about love. They teach love as if it's just something that happens to you, like it's a power that just takes over a person and there's nothing you can do about it, like almost like a demon possession. It's not my fault that I cheated on you, they say in the soap operas. It's not my fault. I couldn't help it. We fell in love. It just happened. That isn't love. It is certainly true that you can fall in love, and if you do fall in love, you're going to go crazy when you do, and I hope everybody here has done that at least once in your life, fall in love, because it really is something. It's like drowning in deep affection and desire for each other, and everybody should do it, but that's not what we're talking about here when we are talking about love. When we are talking about love here, we are talking about a decision. Love is not something that happens to you, it's something you decide to do. It's not something you wait for and hope that someday you'll feel for another. It's something you do. Listen, I love you that are here today. I love you. Sometimes that's really easy. Others of you, I got to work at it a little bit more. I don't know how you feel about me. There was a person from my church some years ago who was upset when I said this, when I said, I love you because that's my job. It is my job to love you. I love you because it's my job. And she was really angry about that, but we stuck with it, and it began to transform both her life and mine, because we began to find that love doesn't have anything to do with affection or natural attraction. It has to do with a decision that we make. This is what I am going to do. Don't wait to fall in love. Decide to love. And do it now. Do you know why you have to do it now? Because love is not an option. It's not an appetizer on a menu somewhere. It is not a choice as to whether you're going to love other people or not. You don't get to decide if you want to love somebody else or not, because love is not an option. Love is an order. You are ordered to love one another. Do you get that, soldier? All right, thank you. I like that. I got a salute. I don't get many of those. We don't have any choice in this. Jesus explicitly told us to love one another. He particularly wants us to love each other as Christians. So everybody here today, and everybody over here at St. Michael's Episcopal Church, and out there in East Auburn Church, and over there at the Calvary Methodist, we all are loving one another. We have to love each other. We have to recognize each other as followers of Christ. And when we slander each other or speak hatefully to each other or spitefully, when we seek to harm each other, we deny Christ and we nail Christ to the cross again. You here today, all of you, are under orders to love one another, and that includes me, you know. So as annoying as I can be and as much trouble as I can cause, you have to love me because you are under orders to do it. It is your task to seek what is best for me. Not necessarily what I want, what is best for me. It is not a choice, it is a commandment. And of course I do the same for you. Remember, if you don't like this thought, there's this. Love is not earned. You are not punching a time clock. You are not scoring points about whether you are going to be loved. Jesus did not love people because they were lovable. Jesus gave that love freely, even to those who nailed him to the cross. We live in a society that works by merit. If you show up to work, you get paid. If you study hard and pass the test, you get an A. If you spend a lifetime trying to do what is right, you get the respect of your citizens. But that isn't exactly how it works for us, because God loves us if we are people who practice justice and if we are people who practice righteousness. And God loves us if we work for harmonies and love others. And God loves us if we are lying, cheating scoundrels. And God loves us if we are hateful and filled with bitterness and motivated by fear. We do not earn God's love. We cannot earn God's love. Try this statement on. Somebody said this to me 40 years ago, and it still shocks me. There is nothing you can do to make God love you more than God already loves you. There is nothing you can do to make God love you more than God already loves you. God just loves you. And our lives are to reflect that. We are to love those not only who love us, but we are also to love all of our brothers and sisters, no matter what. Therefore, love is a gift. We love not because it is earned, but because it is a gift. However, it also means this: love is not safe. When I was a kid, I hit a golf ball with a baseball bat. And not very squarely. It took off and bounced across the lawn and hit my dog right in the ribs. And my dog went down to the ground howling, and I ran right over and bent down to see if he was all right. And my father yelled at me, "Don't do that," but it was too late. I was already there. Why did he tell me not to bend down to that dog that was howling in pain? Because it might have bitten me. That's right. Now, the dog didn't, and I can't imagine that dog would have ever bitten me, but the fact is this: when you love others, it isn't safe, because if you love people who do not love you, it makes you vulnerable, and they may turn against you. And one of the things you will find out is that love is a cross. It's not a safety belt. This is a psychological truth. If you love a person who is full of fear, they will gladly accept your love, but they then may turn it against you and use it against you. And they may actually strike out at you out of your attempt to love them. If you love outcasts and outsiders, the powers that exist will freak out because you are changing the situation from the way they want it. Either way, if you love others, you may find that people will seek to nail you to a cross. And sometimes they will succeed. Loving others is not safe. But as we all know, even the cross is transformed by the power of God's love. Finally, this: love is not an idea. Jesus tells us this: Those who say, I love God and hate their brothers or sisters are liars. In another place that we didn't read today, Jesus says, how is God's love abiding in anyone who has the world's goods and yet sees a brother or sister in need and refuses to help? Little children, let us love not in word or in speech, but in truth and in action. We as Christians are called to do this, to love one another, because love is not an idea, it is an action. I mentioned this and I got an email back from Lee, our food pantry manager, and Lee said this: love means not having to tell your family they're going to go hungry. Love is a thing that we do. It is not an emotion that we have or an idea that we carry. Love is a thing that we do. It is a thing that we do. Love is action. It is power. It is Christ. Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, you can make the angels cry. And though the bird is on the wing, you may not know why. So come on, people, now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, and we shall surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in grass. So come on, people, now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Yes, you can sing it with me. Come on, people, now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen, you hold the key to love and fear. It's in your trembling hand. And just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. So come on, people, now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Stand up and sing with me. Come on, people, now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now, right now, right now. Amen. Give somebody a hug. You too, Ruth.
You've been listening to a sermon by Reverend Stephen Carnahan, pastor of High Street Congregational Church in Auburn, Maine. If you feel inspired by what you hear, we invite you to join us in person for worship services every Sunday morning, beginning at 10 o'clock. Of course, you can always listen to Steve's sermons on the web. New sermons are posted every Monday by midday. Please take a moment to explore this website for more information about our church, or visit our Facebook page at High Street Congregational Church, UCC. We hope that God's presence will be known to you every hour of every day, and that God's blessings will rest upon you now and always. See you next week.